Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Kathi, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Northeast Ohio in the United States. And tonight I'm going to share with you how to create an easy twisted corner trifold card. That's kind of a mouthful. So I'm excited to share that with you. I first saw this fun fold done by Rachel Tessman 4 or 5 months ago, I believe. And I just changed mine up a little bit because I wanted it to stand up. And I'll show you what I mean when we get started. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm happy you found me. I hope you'll like what you see. And if you're here with me live or catching the replay, thank you so much for being with me. I'm really glad to be here with you and spending time with you this evening. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining. So I'm going to flip this down so we can get started. Okay, I wanted to show you that I will be using, some the stamps, this bow, and a sentiment from here. I'm also going to be using the designer series paper and some of the dies. So this is a really pretty stamp set. It is the Winterly Treetops, and it is in our mini catalog page. Now I'm going to bring in the stamps here a minute and show you what we're using. So this is a cling stamp set. Really beautiful birds to color and pretty images. And I will be using the bow and one of the sentiments. Also, you have several dies, some really intricate dies for the front of your card, some distinctive dies or detailed dies also, and then the rest all cut out the images from that stamp set. The one other thing I am using is the Spotlight on Nature dies, and you can use any circle for this that you have, whether it is stylish shapes or a punch, it will work. But I am using one of these for the card. So remember, these are ideas for you to use with what you already have on your own. And I'm using, this is all I have left of that designer series paper. I'm waiting for another pack. But I saved this sheet for this card and I cut off, this is the exact same. If you were to turn it around, it would be the exact same. And I cut off a 4 1/4 piece by 12, and then I trimmed off 1 inch that I wasn't going to use. So don't worry about measurements. I will give them to you throughout, but I will also have a PDF and a download for you by tomorrow evening. So let's start. Let me show you what this card is going to look like, but we're using a different stamp set. This is the Twisted Corner Trifold card. So this is the corner, and when you open up, it twists open. And then the trifold is 1, 2, and 3 folds. So this will actually sit very nicely on a table. It looks similar to this if you were to see it standing, and if from above, this is what it looks like. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off with that piece of designer series paper. Now again, 4 1/4 by 11, and it is scored at 5 1/2. Hi, Mary and Renee. Thank you all for joining me. So this is scored at 5 1/2. And this is great because this is going to be the bulk of our card. And then you need a piece of coordinating cardstock. And this is, what is this? 5 1/8 by 4 1/4. And it's then scored at 3/4 inch. So let's go ahead and put this part together. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this on the fold line, and we're just going to burnish it with a bone folder. And then I'm going to do the same with my designer series paper. And when you're scoring your designer series paper, just remember, I've done it myself. If you score too hard, it is going to rip. And then we're going to adhere these together. Now, you want this fold on the back of your designer series paper. So you're simply going to match these up, edge of the designer series paper to that fold line. But you don't want to go past the fold line because then it won't lay right and close for you. You can use your tape runner or stamp and seal. I'm going to use my glue. It works really well. And I really want to get this lined up edge to edge. So I'm going to pick it up and just give it a little tap. And that looks good. And we're going to adhere it down. So we now have, this is 1 fold, 2 folds, 3 folds. All right, now we want to bring down this corner and have it fold in a triangle where it meets. One thing to remember when you're picking out your paper, you want to make sure you pick out something that you like both sides that are going to kind of coordinate so that it looks nice together. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold this down and just bring it right to the edge. I'm just going to give it a light crease, and then I'm going to burnish it with my bone folder. Okay, so here's the fold of our card. Now, one of the things, this card can be made to open up, and this is how Rachel did it. She opened it up where you pull it open and it kind of twists, and then you have your greeting inside here. But it doesn't stand up. So I wanted mine to stand up because, you know, fun folds, you like to display them. So we're going to go ahead and decorate this one here. So for the, let me grab something. You're going to need, I have a 3/8 inch piece of matching cardstock. And this is about, I think, 5.5 inches long. Let's see, about 5 inches long. And I'm going to open this up because this is going to go on the back side of this front piece. And you're going to start here and go to here, but we're going to have to trim it off. So one of the things that I've done is I kind of go to here and turn it over. I find where my fold is, and then I just snip it with my scissors. So I don't know if you can see that or if my fingers are in the way. But again, you just want a little bit of an edge, and then you're going to fold it to where that is, and you're just going to snip it. And let's see if I can do this. I have 2 dogs here wrestling, the Goldens, and make a noise. So they've got me stressed out. You're going to hear that. So that should go right like this. And that looks pretty good. So you want to adhere that down. And to do that, I'm going to put just a little bit of glue, and I am going to use glue because I found the tape runner was just a little bit too wide because I'm only using a 3/8 inch. And then I'm going to come back over here and just line that up. And I only want a little bit of it showing. And I'm just going to make sure it's straight. And then you have that finished edge, okay? Now, you may need to trim a little bit more off here. Let's see. I didn't have a very good fold on that, so let me just give it a good burnishing because you want that to be able to fold back. And I'm going to just go now with my snips and trim off that little tip. And you now have that nice finished edge on the side. Okay, now for the outside here, I've chosen to use a piece of white because we do have white in the designer series paper. And I embossed it with the Snowfall Sky 3D embossing folder because there's snow in the paper. And I'm not sure if you can see that, but the snowflakes are there. So I thought I would put that here on the front. Now I'm making this a thank you card because the stamp set really can be used for Christmas, but that's not really the sentiments in that on it. So I'm using it today as a thank you card. So this white piece, and these are kind of screwy measurements, but they're 4 1/8 by 4 1/4. The 4 1/4 is the width of the card here, but then when you add the paper to it and you do the fold, you've got about 1/8 to play with there for an edge. So that's our outside. Now I want to decorate it and I want to add something here. So what I did is I went ahead and I already stamped that circle and it says sending thanks and much love. But I wanted to dress it up a little bit. So what I used for that is this bow. I stamped it in tuxedo black memento ink, and then I colored it with my Stampin' Blends. I used shaded spruce and real red. And I thought that would be pretty to sit on top of this circle to just add, kind of pretty. Now, if I'd have thought of that, I might have colored the berries for autumn, but I didn't. So I went ahead and made them. And this is actually going to a daughter. And I'm just going to adhere this right here. Now, because I'm adhering it, I don't want to cover my letters, but they're going to be pretty darn close, as you can see. So I want to only put glue on the very back edge of this bow. So I'm just going to go right along the edge here and adhere that to the top of the circle. And then we're going to adhere it to the front of our card. So let's go ahead and make sure that's straight. And that looks pretty good, and just give it a good press. Now we're going to adhere this down, and you could pop it up, but I actually liked the one I did that I glued it down a little bit better, but popping it up with the dimensionals will work. But when you do go and adhere this, no matter how you do it, you want to make sure that you're only going to get adhesive on the part that's going to go on this triangular fold, because if you get it elsewhere, you're going to seal this shut. So one of my tricks for doing this is to use Post-it notes. So I'm going to actually take, I have 2 little Post-it notes here, and I'm going to find where I want this, and that looks pretty centered. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is a trick I use with my Post-it notes to make sure I get the adhesive in the right spot. So when I pick this up, I know that adhesive is not going to go anywhere where the paper is on the other side. So I need to stay below here. So I'm going to go ahead and add my glue, and I'm going to stay below those Post-it notes. And I'm just going to add a few dots along the edge here. And we're going to go back and adhere this. Now, again, I'm going to leave my Post-it notes on here because that's going to show me right where to line that up with my fold. And now I can go ahead and adhere this down. And you take off your Post-it notes. And when you flip this over, you don't have any adhesive on this side. Oh, Mary, I'm glad you like that. I'm glad you like it, Renee. So there's the front of the card. Now for the inside of the card, and we'll come back and add some embellishments. I just want to tell you a couple other things you can do. We're going to add some embellishments, but you can also add something to here. Maybe a couple sprigs of evergreen that you can add popping up out of here, or even out of both the top and bottom. On the inside, I am using another piece of early espresso, and this is a smaller size than normal. This is 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then I'm using a basic white that's 4 5/8 by 3 3/8. And they fit just nicely in there. So I kind of want to show you how I came up with that. And I have these templates that I use for sizes so that I'll kind of experiment with them and put them together till I get a size or maybe a couple layers that I like, that the way they fit together, and do something different than just 4 by 5 1/4. So we're going to go ahead and adhere this. Now, I did not stamp a greeting on this because I was thinking of writing a handwritten note. If I change my mind, I can always stamp it again a little bit later. So let me slide this over, and you should have some nice even edges here. Let's slide this down a little bit. So you can see it's a pretty easy fun fold to do, but also one that your designer series paper does most of the work, which is really pretty nice. And it's something different than what we've done in the past. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to adhere this in here. And that looks pretty even all the way around. Scoot that a little bit to the right. And here's our card until I finish the inside. Now let's add a few embellishments to this. So I thought it'd be fun to add these iridescent faceted gems. I think they're so pretty. And I just love, can you see the sparkle in them? I just love the way they look. So I thought they'd be fun to put on here and just give it a little bit of bling. And one fun thing to do with these snowflakes is to actually put a gem right inside the snowflake. And it kind of adds a little bit to your embossed layer. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to add another one here. And let's add another one. I think I'm going to do 5 on this one. And then I'm going to come over with a big one and I'm going to add that right down here. So let's take a look at this card again. So here it is opened up. Okay, laying down, and yes, that's going to be on its side, but it's meant to stand up so that it stands upright and displays really beautiful. So there's our 2. Let me bring them both back. I'm kind of into early espresso. I'm not sure if it's the fall or what, but there's our 2 cards. Let me bring you back to me. I hope you enjoyed this Twisted Corner trifold card. I love it. It's quick and easy to do, and I love that you can use the designer series paper to really make a statement. I will have the PDF for you. The link will be right down below the YouTube video description. You'll also be able to go over to my website tomorrow. It will be up by evening, where you'll be able to download the card in the PDF. If you like tonight's tutorial video, please consider giving me a thumbs up. It helps me grow my channel. Feel free to share the video. I'll be back tomorrow at 2 o'clock with our 3rd week of the 12 weeks of Christmas. So I hope I see you then. Have a great evening, everybody. Stay safe and well, and I'll see you soon.